Good morning. Happy Inktober the 4th. Welcome back to Mr. News Art Class. It's wonderful to see your smiling faces. I'm going to recording from my garage again today, and today is Inktober the 4th. I'm actually going to be drawing 2 Inktober prompts today. I'm going to record them in separate videos though and upload one of them tomorrow. The reason is I'm going to be driving all day tomorrow, and although I probably will have time in the morning to make a drawing before I hit the road, I won't have time tomorrow to edit the video and upload it. So just to make sure you guys have your content, I'm going to go ahead and record tomorrow's video today. But I'm going to do that in 2 separate videos, so this video will just be today, Inktober the 4th. So the prompt for the 4th today is radio. You know, I thought about doing something similar to what I did up here and having multiple days, you know, go across in, you know, like a landscape or something kind of going on, but I think I'm just going to take it one day at a time. I think just right now, thinking ahead that far is just not going to happen. So if I'm talking about radio as my prompt, I think I might just actually just like draw a radio, like, you know, like a boombox, like an old, maybe like an old, you know, radio cabinet from like the 50s or 60s where, you know, it looks like a piece of furniture with knobs on it, you know. Or another option, you know, if I wanted to go with a landscape idea, I could draw a radio tower, like the Eiffel Tower is actually a radio tower. It's a hard choice. Should I draw a radio or a radio tower? I mean, I do like drawing landscapes, but I also kind of want something different. Or, I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and, you know, I'm just going to draw a radio. Let's see. Let's start with like a box. You know, if I don't like it, I can always erase it. Well, if I don't like my sketch, I can always erase my sketch. As I learned a couple of days ago, I think it was the second where I started off with a sketch of something and then just completely erased the entire thing and started over. Anyway, let's see. So if this is a radio, like an old school, you know, it's not going to be quite that, you know, usually it wouldn't be like a square. It would be like a rectangle. Like an old school radio. And then maybe it's gonna have some antennas on top. So maybe like a little bit of a dome with the, is that centered? That doesn't look centered. A little bit of a dome with the antennas coming off to the side. Or should the antenna be like on one side or the other? Like, I guess, because, you know, sometimes it would be like a split antenna, like a V shape, right? Where the antennas would come out in the 2 different directions. And then other times it would be like one single antenna that sticks up straight off of one side. Which way should I do that? Which way do I like better? I think I like the single antenna better. All right, so we'll have one antenna sticking off on this one side. And yeah, something like that. And then on the main box of the radio, it's going to be like, speaker on one side, knobs on the other. Which side should be the knobs and which side should be the speakers? Let's see. Maybe I'll put the speaker on this side. And then how many knobs is it going to need? It's going to have, the readout for what radio band it is, what frequency it is. That's going to have some lines on it. Maybe it'll be... sometimes some of those radios had like a number sequence that stayed put and then the line would move across it. And then some of them were like round. Like it was like the radio frequencies were a knob and it had the line stayed put. But then the band with the radio frequencies was like a knob that would turn. Which way do I want to do that? I don't know. Then there would be a knob to change. There's going to be at least two knobs, right? A knob to change the station. And a knob to change the volume. Do I want to do the knobs one above each other like that, or do I want them to be side by side? I think I want them to be side by side. I don't know, I'm kind of making this up as I go. I should have looked up some photo references, but that would take time. Time I don't have. Speaking of time I don't have, I did get quite a bit of work done yesterday. These last couple of days I have been super, super productive. I'm actually going to be uploading some videos to YouTube this week as well. Some tutorial videos geared towards a young audience, or at least a beginner level audience. Some little whimsical, fun little projects. But yeah, I have gotten quite a lot of video editing work done in these last couple of days. I think I mentioned, a couple of days ago that I had like 13 different videos that needed to be produced. And several of those videos actually needed to be produced in multiple different variations, because I'm kind of in a limbo state with work, with the school right now, and that's related to whether I will be going back into the classrooms after fall break, or whether I will remain the virtual art teacher. And anyway, so I'm sort of in a limbo state with that. I don't need to give too much information about that until I have a final answer, but long story short, I did have to prepare extra lessons for the upcoming week after fall break, just in case, just to cover my bases regardless of what answer I am given. So like if I'm going back into the classrooms, I needed to have lessons for that. And if I am going to be the virtual art teacher, I needed to have lessons for that. And so I have been swamped this week, but I got a lot of work done. yesterday in particular on that. And so I'm feeling confident that I can get most of that done before I hit the road tomorrow. And that's good. On that note, I have been thinking a lot lately about computer equipment because the computer equipment that the schools have provided for the virtual teaching are just crap. They're garbage. They're not. They're not usable in any way. I have provided to me from work, I have a 5-year-old MacBook that, even when it was brand new, was slow because it's like the base model. And yeah, so even when it was brand new, it was slow. And I mean, it gets the job done for things like email and, general purpose lesson planning, but for video editing and for video production, it is garbage. And so I have been taking my own computer to work because I have, a very, very, I mean, not like my personal computer it's not like the fastest in the world, but it's fast. Let's put it that way. I mean, it's not super budget, but it's also not like the most expensive equipment in the world. I built my computer a year ago now, because my old computer had finally kicked the bucket. So I needed a new computer at that point a year ago. And when I built that machine, my goal when I built it was to be able to record and edit content, video content. Like, that was the purpose behind the build when I built that machine. And so, it is a quality video editing workstation. It has, for anyone who cares, it has a Ryzen 2700X processor. So that's the last generation of Ryzen processor. But that's an 8-core, 16-thread processor that runs at 4 gigahertz. And that's insane to me that I have a processor that fast. And then it has 32 gigabytes of memory, running at 3200 megahertz. And it has a GeForce GTX 1660 graphics processor, which is at this point a couple generations old. There has been so much work. I've been keeping up with computer hardware lately, and just across the board, the updates and upgrades to computer hardware lately have been tremendous. They've been phenomenal. Every year, every generation of these processors and stuff, there's like newfangled, hey, wow, that's really awesome. I wish I had the new thing instead of the old thing. But this year in particular, with the NVIDIA launch of the 3000 series RTX graphics cards, those are just absolutely crazy. And AMD is about to launch their competition for that, their Big Navi graphics cards, and those are appearing like they will be just as incredible, and that blows my mind that that's even possible. And then in the CPU world, in the processing world, the central processor world, the new Ryzen processors that are going to be coming out later this month maybe, those things look incredible too. It's like it almost makes me wish that I hadn't built my computer when I did, because then I could build a new one now. Although, the only thing about my computer as it is right now I shouldn't say the only thing, the bottleneck right now, like every machine is going to have some kind of, what's the limiting factor, right? And in my machine right now, the limiting factor is storage. My SSD is just a SATA SSD, and then I have hard drives for files. And that just doesn't have fast enough read-write speeds for what I do. So I am planning on eventually getting an NVMe SSD for faster read-write speeds, because that will help in the video editing process. But other than that, am I done with this? I think I'm done. Anyway, I was talking about my work computer being garbage, and I take my computer to work to get work done. And it's important to have tools that do the job. Like, it's important to have pens that do the job you need them to do, and pencils that do the job you need them to do, and erasers that do the job. You don't want to have garbage. It's not always important to have like the most expensive, but that analogy could carry on to anything, right? Anything. It's important to have paper that does the job. It's important to have computers and camera equipment that do the job, for whatever job you need done. So anyway, speaking of done, I'm done. I think I'm done with my radio. Should I, I'm wondering if I should do something with the background. Am I done? I'm not done. I'm going to do something with the background. I'm going to darken the background and have like a white aura wrapping around, because I don't like, I'm going to do that. Or should I do it on a table? Should I put it on a table? Or should I have just a dark background? I think I'm just going to have a dark background. Or maybe I have a dark background and a white table? The hard questions. I'm thinking about contrast. I think I am going to do it that way. I think I'm going to do it where there's like a table, and then there's going to be a dark background, and that dark background is going to be offset by this little aura, like a white outline. And yeah, that way I can keep talking about computers. That's something I enjoy talking about. Yeah, so the computer that I have for work is just garbage. It's just plain garbage. But the computer I have from home is great. And so that just I was trying to get myself into a discussion here about using the right equipment for the job. I had a conversation with my best friend Scott about this very recently when we were talking about microphones, because when I, at the beginning of the year, I started out virtual as a virtual art teacher. And, my teaching style has me up all over the place around the classroom, and I'm a very active teacher. And I wanted to implement a lot of that kind of stuff into my virtual lessons as well. Getting up and dancing around the room and stuff like that, being crazy. So anyway, I had asked my best friend Scott does sound design work. He's a sound guru. He's an audiophile. He's whatever you want to call those guys that make your TV shows and commercials and movies and videos sound amazing. And so anyway, I had asked him for advice about microphones. I wanted a wireless microphone so that I could, wouldn't be stuck behind a desk when I'm recording my art lessons for school, my virtual art lessons for school. And, he was asking me things like, what's your budget range? And I'm like, I don't know, $20. And he's like, wow, that's not gonna work. And we just, it's in that realm as well. In any realm, whatever work it is you're trying to accomplish, there comes a point where you just need the right tool for the job. And sometimes the right tool for the job is an expensive tool, but is worth every penny in the amount of time it saves, in the amount of quality that you gain from it, things like that. He actually, in the case of those microphones, he actually had a friend who was willing to donate an old used wireless body pack and receiver that I am super thankful for. It has been a tremendous help. I would not have been able to make some of the ridiculously fun lessons that I have made without that. But it just goes right back into this discussion about quality equipment and about it being impossible to get the job done, whatever the job may be, if your equipment is garbage and you don't always need the biggest, fanciest, newest thing. Like I said, the computer that I built last year does the job. When I built it, I purposely built it to make it good enough to do the job, and it still does the job. And there are minor upgrades that I need to make, but everything about that machine is better than the computer that I have been provided by my employer. And so I just don't use my work laptop for anything, really, at all, at this point. Anyway, I think that is actually officially done now. I am going to call that quits. And there is a, zoomed out so you can see how it fits with the whole calendar. And I'm really happy with the way this is turning out so far. I'm really enjoying it. I like that radio. I think I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised because like last year I planned out the whole, sketched out every little character before the 1st of Inktober, and this year I'm just making it up as I go. But it still seems like it's turning out just fine. Anyway, if you enjoyed that, give me a thumbs up. Share the video with anybody else you think will enjoy it. And I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in tomorrow's video, which I'm actually about to record tomorrow's video. I'm going to go ahead and record that today because I'm actually going to be traveling tomorrow. But I'm going to record tomorrow's video today, but I'm going to upload it tomorrow. So you'll have a video to watch tomorrow. And I hope you enjoy that one too. See you guys tomorrow. Happy Inktober.